I think it's pretty normal in America for a fight to erupt because people are talking to each other, people are talking shit, things escalate, fists start flying, kicks, punches. It's funny because in Japan, in the one fight that I have seen here between two Japanese people, it actually happened maybe seemingly because people were not talking. So, as you may know, I've mentioned in a few of my videos that I go to a kickboxing or an MMA gym here in Tokyo. One night I was at kickboxing class, we were doing some sparring, and some nights it gets pretty serious there. There are actually some pros. You know, I'm a complete beginner, I suck, so I go super light. I go as light as possible. I don't want anyone kicking my ass there. I don't want to accidentally hit anyone too hard and get beat up. But some guys are pros, they spar a little harder. And sometimes, even if you're going light like me, you're going nice, you're just trying to say, hey, I'm a beginner, take it easy on me. Sometimes they're douchebags, or I'm not sure if they're actually trying to be douchebags, but maybe they just don't even realize that they're being douchebags, which kind of makes them a douchebag anyway for not thinking about that and other people's safety. But sometimes people will go hard on you even if you're not going hard back. And there's this one dude, his name was Yuki. I'm not doxing him or anything. There are 1,000,001 dudes in Japan, in Tokyo, named Yuki. But he insisted on going hard, like trying to actually, you know, like fight a little bit, even though I would go super, super light. Other people would go super, super light. My friend actually made a comment to me, my Japanese friend, and he was like, yo, like, why is this guy going so hard? I was like, I don't know. And then he was like, hey, just be careful when you go with this guy because he goes really hard and like, he throws up head kicks. Good evening, konbanwa. And you basically just gotta be careful, especially someone's throwing up head kicks, even if they're not going super hard, and they fucking hit a shin to your fucking face. This skin here around your eyebrows, where your like eyebrow like fucking bone pokes out, it can cut and break super easily, and you have to get stitches. So anyways, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll go easy with this guy. And anyways, I go with this guy, and of course he goes super hard. I actually hit him a couple times pretty good. He hit me back a couple times pretty good. But then as soon as the round's over, he's just like so nice and smiling to me. And it's always funny because if you guys have ever sparred before, also in MMA, kickboxing, whatever it is, I know you have had this experience where someone hits you harder than you expect them to hit. You're just thinking it's a friendly sparring match, and they hit you harder, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you kind of start going harder to them, and you're like, oh shit, like we're throwing down. Okay, I guess this is it. I guess we're throwing down. And you're going hard with this dude, and as soon as the round ends, you're expecting to look up and be like, oh, like what the fuck? And like, you like address some shit, and they're just like, ah, arigatou gozaimasu. Or you know, if you're in overseas, they're like, oh, good round. And then you're just like, what was that? And overseas, at least in my experience training Muay Thai for like a year in the US, whenever someone was going hard like that, and then I was like, what the fuck is your problem? We had finished the round, and they would just be like, oh, cool, man, thanks, like, good round. And it seemed like they were genuine, but they just kind of like liked going hard and didn't realize that they were being, or at least I thought that they were being dicks. But then in Japan, just based on people's mannerisms and how you can see them gritting their teeth and getting angry and shit, sometimes that happens, and you're like, oh, then this afterward, they're just like, arigatou gozaimasu, and it just seems kind of fake. I don't know if that's just me being biased and being like racist toward the culture, because it is kind of like a tatemae, save face culture. But getting to the point here, after I sparred with this dude, he was like, arigatou gozaimasu, and he was just like smiling and walked away, and I was like, how is he, like, I felt like that was kind of douchey toward me. And then as soon as the round was over, I was like looking at him like, you're like, what's up? And then he was just like, arigatou gozaimasu, and then just walked away. And then next I see him going with this pro fighter. This guy, the guy who I'm talking about, Yuki, he's not a pro. He's just an amateur, but he was pretty good. He's going with this pro fighter who's a lot smaller than him. So naturally, what happens? I get back, I sit down, I start watching it, and I'm like, all right, like, are these guys gonna get into it? Because I don't think a pro like that would take this shit if this guy tries to go hard with him. I don't think Yuki's even gonna try to go hard with this guy because he probably knows what's gonna happen. Sure enough, he gets out there and starts doing the same thing, throwing head kicks at this guy. It's a big no-no. If you notice that you're about to land a head kick on someone in sparring, you have to pull it. You have to like slow down your foot so you don't actually hit them. And if you do throw it all the way, you're a dick. And then it's like, okay, now we're fighting. So I watch Yuki. he starts going hard with this dude, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And what do you know? Fucking for about like 10 seconds, they're swinging at each other, they're going hard. And I'm already anticipating it for it to be this thing where it's like they're swinging at each other, they're going hard, and then as soon as the round's over, they're just gonna be like, arigatou gozaimasu, and then walk away. Sure enough, about 10 seconds goes on of them swinging at each other, and then the pro dude, who is a lot smaller than Yuki, just kicks him in the head. Kicks him right across this area and splits his eyebrow open, about like 3 centimeters or so cut, dude. Like here on his eyebrow. Literally heard a big smack. And I'm like, oh shit. And he like goes around, like steps off for a second, and he's like holding his head, and the other guy just walks away and doesn't even look at him. He's just like walking away like this. And Yuki was down like this for a second, and he turns around, and there's blood all down his face. He's got a huge cut. There's blood all down this dude's face. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. It's about to be a fight or something. And the dude that, konbanwa, hello. The dude that kicked him in the head is just walking off like nothing happened. He's just like this. And I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I'm not sure if the fight's gonna happen. I'm just like, and I look over at the coach, because the coach is there. There's obviously an instructor on duty to make sure things like this do not happen. Like, that is his job. And the coach is just standing there, and he's just like watching, sitting down, like not saying anything. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? This is so awkward. The entire gym got quiet. You could hear the drop of a pin. I'm looking around. Everybody is watching, but nobody's saying anything. The entire gym is quiet. And Yuki just walks off, comes up to me because I'm the only fucking friendly person in the gym with him. Even though I probably should have been like, fuck you too, but I was still like, I don't know, that's just how I am, man. I always want to like try to see the good in people, and like, many times I thought this guy was kind of being a dick. I was kind of like, I don't know, maybe he's not trying to be a dick. So I think I was the only one who was like actually friendly with this guy. He comes up to me, the fucking foreigner, who just came to Japan and still doesn't speak great English or great Japanese, and he like shows me his cut, and he's like, "Byōin itta hoga ii desu ka? Byōin itta hoga ii desu ka?" Like, should I go to the hospital? And I was like, "Itta hoga ii desu yo, itta hoga ii desu yo." I was like, yeah, like you should go to the hospital. And he's just like, maji ka. And he's walking around with this cut open and blood down his face. Nobody is still saying anything. I ran over to like the first aid thing. I opened the first aid thing. I started getting him bandages and band-aids, and like putting him on his fucking eye. Even though, like I said, this guy was being a dick. But I was like trying to help him out. I'm like, dude, this guy's hurt. I gotta help him, whatever. Nobody else is doing anything. Nobody else is looking at us. And I'm just like, holy shit, like what the fuck is going on? Is this culture shock? I guess I wasn't reading the room. Kuki o yomu, as they say, like you read the air. I guess I wasn't reading the air. But everybody else seemed to just be like fuck this guy basically. And they're all just like not paying attention to him anymore. And he's sitting there fucking bleeding out of his face. And then I fucking bandaged him up. I wiped this blood off his face and shit. He gets up, grabs his phone, puts his backpack on, grabs his phone. Konbanwa. Good evening. What's up, bro?
What's up with it?
What's up? Yeah, hey, shout out your Instagram or something. Come on, man. Don't just
I don't have Instagram.
Dude, shout out your OnlyFans.
What the fuck?
Shout out your
OnlyFans? I don't do OnlyFans.
I saw you on there, bro.
You saw me on there?
I busted a really
Bro.
good one to you.
BBC? Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all take care, man. Y'all have a good night. He pulls out his phone, walks up to this dude, the dude that kicked him in the head, and the dude turns around and looks at him like, oh shit, are we gonna go? He just like looks at him. Yuki pulls out his phone, just takes a picture of his face, literally, and the guy just stares at the camera, like he doesn't like run away or anything, he's just like standing like this. Yuki walks up to him just casual as fuck and takes a picture of his face. Like imagine this is his phone camera. He comes up to me and just goes, takes a picture of the dude, and the dude just stares at him, and he turns around and then just like puts his head down and walks out of the gym. And the dude just like, the dude who kicked him then just like starts walking off like nothing happened. And then everyone's just like, and goes back to sparring, and then that's it. To this day, I have not seen Yuki ever again. To this day, I do not know why he took a picture of this dude's face. I'm not sure if he was thinking he was gonna sue, or something like that, which I don't think you even could because we're all signed a contract at the gym. You cannot join the gym, sparring, anything, unless you have signed a contract saying that you consent to fighting and all of that shit. So I don't know what the fuck he was doing. But talk about Japanese culture shock. To the extent of getting into a fight where someone needed stitches happened, someone's bleeding out, and nobody is talking. Nobody is saying anything. It's just so funny because in America, anytime someone gets into a fight, I've seen fights in MMA gyms in America, and it's always like, man, what the fuck? And people are holding each other back and shit, and other fighters get involved sometimes. I mean, sometimes they let them fight it out, but other fighters get involved. There's always words being said back and forth, but it is the most Japanese thing ever. Like, they will literally go to the extent of fighting each other before they will just talk about their problem. Because it's all like, oh, like, they don't communicate things. You're just supposed to read the air and expect, like, what happens. Just read people's body language, just understand the situation, not by actually talking about it, but just understanding what's going on. Literally, these guys went to the extent of fighting each other, someone kicking the other one in the head, probably having to get stitches, bleeding through out of his fucking eye, and they didn't even say a word about it. And then after it, they didn't even like yell, anything like that. They were just like, just walked away without saying anything. For whatever reason, the dude comes over, grabs his phone, and takes a picture of the guy, and the guy just stands there like nothing happened, and then leaves. And the whole time, the coach is there, the instructor's there, who is there to make sure things like this don't happen, and he also didn't do anything, didn't step in, didn't say anything. And then actually the next night I was at class again, and the instructor was telling like the students who weren't there the previous night, he was like, oh, so like you guys should have been here last night, something pretty funny happened. And he was telling them, he's like, oh yeah, like there's a fight, and this, I think his name is Yuki, yeah, like whatever, that other dude, I forget his name, yeah, he just like kicked him in the head, and he started bleeding, and then he just walked out, and the instructor was just kind of giggling about it, like laughing, and I was just like, I don't know, I'm trying so hard not to be like just upset at this culture. Obviously there's so many things I love about Japan, but I remember, like, even though it had nothing to do with me, I remember being so turned off. And I'm sure there's plenty of biases here, such a small sample size. To say this is Japan's culture just because this one weird situation happened would be definitely pretty ignorant of me, but I do think there is some type of relation between this event and the Japanese culture of, like I said, just reading the air, reading people's body language, like you don't communicate things, people are just supposed to understand how you feel. And to the extent where like they're actually coming to fucking blows, no homo, without actually saying anything about it. I just thought that was so crazy, and I remember feeling like gross after that. And ever since then, I didn't like that instructor really. Even though he like never did anything to me, there was never anything else about him. But I remember just thinking like, bro, this is your gym, dude. Like, you're not gonna say anything. Literally, I understand even if someone is being a douchebag in your gym and they need to get checked, because sometimes at MMA gyms or kickboxing gyms, jiu-jitsu gyms, they will do that. There's actually a word for it, which I don't remember, but they'll, like, the instructor will say like, hey, this guy's being a dick, like, and they'll tell one of the more advanced guys to like humble him a little bit, like not hurt him, but humble him a little bit. But I understand that, and whatever, you can have opinions about that or whatever, but I understand that's a thing. It happens in America all the time. But the thing that bugged me was this dude literally had an injury that he should have gone to the hospital for, and the coach didn't say anything. Not a single person got up and offered him help. I'm brand new in this country. I hardly speak the fucking language at all. I don't know anyone at the gym. I know like one person. Everybody else knows each other. Everybody knows this guy. Like the coach is there, like I said, and nobody got up to help him. And I remember just being like, what the fuck, dude? Even if this guy's being a dick, like I said, I felt like he was being a dick to me. The dude has like a fucking injury where he needs stitches for, and nobody's offering to help this dude or anything. Everyone's just minding their own business. And I know I've heard a lot of other foreigners also say like things, similar stories, and how that's bugged them here in this culture. And like I said, whatever, it's kind of silly for me to have like opinions and say like, oh, this sucks or whatever, that sucks or whatever while I'm living here. But like I said, I'm not going to be here forever. There are definitely things that turn me off about Japan, and this is definitely one of them, like that kind of, whatever that is. And that's a good reason as to why I won't be living here forever. But while I am here, I still love Japan. There are so many great things about Japan. So I just thought that was kind of an interesting story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm not sure where Yuki is these days. I'm sure he's got a badass scar over his eye though. Hope he's doing all right though. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. My name's yungjamez. Scroll. You guys want to join my Discord? Send me $5 on PayPal. Do not forget to add your Discord username. I'm here in Kabukicho. I'm gonna be streaming or filming vlogs here more often. If you guys want to say what's up, come say what's up if you see me. If you see a dazzling, dashing, handsome man with a giant, broad chest and incredible jawline, hit me up, say what's up. But if you come at me with some weird energy, you might get clowned like those guys back there. Some might say I clown myself. I like to think I clown them. But anyways, all right, getting a little off topic here. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out, take care, love y'all.